Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. I'm Lorraine and this is project number 1 using the Best There Is May 2024 paper pumpkin kit. We are going to do the first project. I've got my pieces out and this one we're actually going to stamp the envelope as well. Now, I've done a little bit of pre-work prepping my stamp. Quite often when we have photopolymer stamps, there's residue left from the machining process when they're made, and it can make the stamps really kind of blotchy. So this one seems to be very, I've cleaned it a couple of different ways. I've done a couple of different things, and was still quite blotchy. I did pull out my Misty Moonlight ink pad, and it's a sponge pad, whereas the Stampin' Spots are the linen pads, and it stamped the best. But I swiped it and I got a really wood grain look, so that was really interesting. But I've actually worked with this one enough now, and what I found is I ink it, and then I huff on it, and then I stamp down and it comes out quite well with the ink spots. So this one, I don't know if it's just my stamp, but if you're running into that issue where it is it's blotchy when you ink it instead of being solid. Now it looks blotchy here, but there's lots of ink on there, and when you press it down, it all kind of blends together to give us the effect we want. So I'm just going to breathe on it, and I'm going to stamp it down, and you can see that it's not too bad. It is still a little bit blotchy. So if you do have, if you're having issues with your ink pad, then use your Misty Moonlight if you've got one. If not, just persevere with this one. And we're going to stamp this down. Pull my instructions back in and stamp this down right in the middle here. Just going to breathe on a little bit. This is looking, I've waited too long and it looks to be separating a lot. Like I say, I've cleaned this one and cleaned it, so there shouldn't be any oils left on it. But let's just stamp this down. Give it a minute for the ink to go. And it is a little bit blotchy. I will totally admit that it's a little bit blotchy. So I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight full ink pad, the sponge one. And already you can see that the color is picking up much better. So I'm going to stamp using this one. If you don't have a Misty Moonlight ink pad, you can use Night of Navy. You can use Crumb Cake. You can use Early Espresso. Like I say, I don't like to go outside of the kit, but this is the difference between using the linen stamp spot and using the Misty Moonlight ink pad. This is the full ink pad. This is the Stampin' Spot. So we talk about the residue being left on the stamp. The stamp is clean. Otherwise, I'd have blotchy on this one as well. It just doesn't seem to pick up the ink from the Misty Moonlight linen pad as well. Like I say, if yours is working fine, that's brilliant. Mine wasn't. So I thought I would show you the solution that I chose because mine was not working. So let's get this card built. You've been listening to me chatter on about this, and you don't need to. So we're going to take our Misty Moonlight fronds here, and apparently we also need to ink. We also need to ink our leaves. So I'm just going to pull this in again. We need to take this one like this. Sorry, this is just more than I thought it would be this morning. So I'm just going to pull out another block. I'm going to use my Stampin' Spot, and I'm going to ink this one up, and we need to stamp on these fronds. So we're just adding a bit of detail to them. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing that. And I'm just going to do that. And let's turn this around. Holy Hannah. Yes, I feel very disorganized doing this morning. Definitely betwixt and between. So there we go. And just turn that, ink that down, add some more, and then we'll do this like that. There we go. Okay, so we've inked that up. We've got this has to go this way up according to the instructions. And what we need to do is we need to put our dimensionals on the back of here. So 1, 2, 3, like that. And we also need to put dimensionals on the back of our card front. And we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And we are also going to put a couple of our adhesive dots on the back of this piece. So what we need to do, let's place this one down first because this piece is going to come a little bit over top. So if I place this one first, it helps me know where to put my other pieces. So, and I do these videos. I haven't looked at the instructions first, which is obvious, or I would have known we had to stamp the leaves as well. So I do it as if you were pulling it right out of the box, with any kind of instruction issues or anything like that that come up. I experience them as well, so I can walk you through what's going on. Now this comes over here like this, just a little bit above like this. There we go. And then we take this and we add this right here, line it up with the top, pop it down. You're the best there is. Okay, and I haven't kind of scored this down, but you can take your block and just flatten that. So that is our first card. And the next step, they say, and again, sorry, I'm just going to pull out another block, is stamping the trees onto the envelope. So here's my Stampin' spot. Just going to ink that all the way up. Sorry, I'm out of frame. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to pull in my, and see, that looks just fine. It's just when you get those solid letters or pieces on your stamps that sometimes the ink can be a bit blotchy. And then we just pop this down in the bottom corner of the envelope like that. I'm going to give it a good push, and I'm actually going to push it from underneath because it looked like it didn't all go down. So there we are. That is our first project done in the May 2024 Paper Pumpkin Kit. So stay tuned for the rest of the projects and an alternate today.